Okay, NPC routines. This was really important, but it was a difficult process to say the least, as you can see here, and that's probably because I chose RPG Maker to make my game in, which makes some things a lot simpler, especially the mapping, and, you know, I like the editor. However, after doing some research, I discovered that doing NPC routines in this engine would be very tricky. That wasn't going to stop me. Here you can see the version 1, which moved an NPC to a certain spot at a certain hour of every single day, but that's quite boring because every NPC is always in the same spot every single day. That's not how villagers work, and it's not very dynamic, so here is the new system. The villager wakes up at a specified hour and then it randomly picks between one of 3 locations, and every hour or 2, depending on what you set, it moves between those 3 locations. It goes home for lunch, again moves random in the afternoon, and just like myself, goes home in the evening on a rainy day. Here you can see the plugin command, which you create one of these per NPC on the map. That's where you define its home location, its 3 locations, the hour of day it wakes up, goes to lunch, goes to bed, if it should go to the tavern in the evening, and also in the main plugin you define the road tiles. Now the road tiles, in this case region ID 100, is where the movement takes place. I added these regions to the town and they stick their movement to them. Here you can see Anton, the test NPC, going home, and going home activates a switch. This is so that you can make it so you can only enter his home when he's also home, for example. Here's a bit more on how that works. So when they're on their home tile, they turn invisible, you can't interact with them, and their home switch is on, simulating entering the door, and then when they leave their home tile, it does the opposite. They turn visible, interactable, and the home switch is off. While moving, they also have the through mode on, so that nothing can accidentally stop their route and then mess with their routine. Here you can see the game checking the NPC events against the time of day, and if it's the right hour for them to do something, here they are moving along the road to their next routine location that they've randomly picked for that hour. Here you can see the opposite of the entering the door. When they leave their home, the switch here is gonna turn off. There you go, so now he's on the move. And then here's a quick example of the evening, where instead of going home, some NPCs might go to the tavern, and if they go to the tavern, similar to going home, it activates a switch, so that NPCs found inside the tavern map have actually walked into the tavern. So when you see someone enter the tavern, you can actually find them inside the tavern. Cool, so with all of these things working, it was time to go and move over to the main map. This is where I noted down all the NPC IDs. I noted down their home door locations, and I started noting down the coordinates of notable locations around the village that would be assigned to each of the village's routine options. Then was the painful process of filling in each of these plugin commands. Each NPC just has its own event. Testing it a few times, it was all working as you saw on the previous upload, and you can see at the end here, the villagers are following their routines. There's still some improvements to make, but overall, I'm quite happy with the dynamic villages in Aether Brew, and hope you enjoyed this longer update on one of the game features. I might do a few more of these longer videos between all the little short previews.